I had always believed that hard work and dedication would naturally lead to success. For 5 years, I poured my energy, my time, and my passion into my job at a mid-sized tech company. I wasn't just meeting expectations, I was going above and beyond. I led projects, trained junior employees, and stayed late almost every night without being asked. Everyone in the office, including upper management, recognized my contributions. So when a senior position opened up, one I had practically been preparing for all those years, it seemed like the next logical step in my career. My wife and I worked in the same company, though in different departments. We had a mutual understanding to keep our work lives separate from our personal relationship. We even joked about the rare times we bumped into each other in meetings or hallways. She knew how much that promotion meant to me. We talked about it many times, and she had always shown support, or so I thought. The day the promotion was announced, my heart dropped. I sat frozen at my desk as an email popped up, congratulating my wife on her new role, the role I had been working so hard toward. I remember reading the email twice, thinking it had to be some mistake. When I got home that evening, I asked her about it. She smiled, acted surprised, and said it had come out of nowhere. Something in her tone felt off, but I didn't push it. I wanted to believe she had earned it fairly. But then things started adding up. A colleague approached me quietly a few days later, saying he found it strange that some of my presentations had been edited and sent under her name just before the decision was made. Another told me she had access to files she shouldn't have been able to see without special clearance. Files only I had worked on. I started to question everything. I couldn't ignore the signs anymore. I began gathering evidence. I checked the digital audit logs, went through old shared documents, and took screenshots of emails. I discovered she had logged into the internal system using my credentials more than once. She had reworded my reports and passed them off as her own. Most painful of all, she had spoken to my manager directly, feeding him stories about my lack of leadership, while positioning herself as the better candidate. It wasn't just betrayal, it was sabotage. After about 3 weeks of collecting everything I needed, I drafted my resignation letter. I left without causing a scene, though my heart was heavy. The betrayal from someone I trusted the most was almost harder to accept than losing the promotion itself. But I wasn't going to let her dishonesty define my career. I submitted the evidence to HR and the company's ethics committee. They were shocked. An internal investigation was launched, and she was placed on leave during the review. Eventually, they terminated her for serious ethical violations and misuse of confidential information. The fallout at home was even more devastating. We tried to talk it through, but her justifications only deepened the wound. She admitted she felt overshadowed, that she wanted to finally be seen. But in doing so, she tore apart the trust in our marriage. We eventually separated. In the midst of all that pain, something unexpected happened. A former colleague, who had since moved to a competitor company, reached out. He had heard whispers about what happened and asked to meet. A week later, I was offered a new role, higher in rank than my old promotion, with a better salary, a healthier work culture, and a chance to lead a fresh team. They valued not just my work, but the way I stood up for what was right. Looking back, the entire experience was one of the hardest chapters of my life. I lost a promotion, my job, and my marriage in a matter of weeks, but I also gained clarity, self-respect, and a second chance. Sometimes, the path forward only becomes visible when everything else falls apart. And when it does, you find out who you really are.